Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and welcome to episode 2 of house hunting on Long Island. If you guys are interested in following my journey trying to buy our first home on Long Island, New York, or in Long Island, New York, then definitely stick around, hit the subscribe button, and follow me for more. If you missed episode 1, then definitely go check that out. You'll have a better idea of maybe what I'm going to be talking about today. But as I said in episode 1, backed out of the house we had our inspection on, and only 3 days later, we got in the car and headed to Long Island. We had scheduled a full day of looking at houses. We had 7 different houses to see, actually 8, but we decided not to go to the last one. 7 different houses. A few of them we knew right away, like, we love these. As long as they match the photos, we're putting an offer in. We actually loved one so much that we weren't even going to go see it and just put an offer in, hoping that they would cancel the open house. The open houses can be a little crazy with so many people there. We were going to go to one our first weekend that we went back looking, but there was so many people, like 20 different like couples or families waiting and like around and like leaving to go see this house. It was crazy. So we thought they were all going to be like that, and some of them were and some of them weren't. There are a lot of houses, and I want to take you through all of them to show you, because we did put offers on 3 homes. So I'm going to quickly share all the footage I have of the homes that we went to. I filmed every one, and in the end I will share which ones we put an offer on and the outcome. I had seen this house on the market for a while now, well before we even actually started looking, and I really loved it just from the photos. We're not sure what issues it has and why it's not selling yet. It definitely, pretty sure it needs a roof, but besides that, we don't really know. It's definitely a beautiful home. It's definitely older, but I love older colonial homes. It has so much potential. But it basically has 3 bedrooms. One was on the first floor. In this closet, you'll see I don't really know what's going on there, but there was little things like that all around the house that needed some work. It had 3 bedrooms, 1 on the main floor and 2 upstairs. And then this was the half bath that was downstairs. Pretty basic, kind of a blank canvas in my eyes. This was the dining room, which was so tiny. The pictures made it look so much bigger. And then the kitchen definitely has potential. Outside, the yard was pretty small, which was definitely a big con to us. And then right there you see that's the full bath, which was also just a blank canvas. The bedrooms were just bedrooms. Nothing special, nothing crazy about them. Just a room with a closet. The bathroom, again, just a blank canvas. It needed some work, but we could have worked with it. And then that was caving in, so that didn't look so great. That was the garage. And it had 3 different entrances, which I actually loved, because I just love colonials. The biggest negative of this house was that it didn't have a garage and the basement was really tiny. But aside from that, it was great. It had a ton of rooms. That's the dining room right there with the living room connected. And the kitchen isn't big like I wanted, but it definitely has potential to make a small countertop and, change it up, because it has that little nook right there. This is a full bath on the first floor. This house actually has 2 full baths. The other one is upstairs. So this bath was nice. It had nice fixtures, as you could see. And then this was actually an extra 4th room. It's only a 3-bedroom house, but they don't consider this a bedroom because it has an entrance to outside, and I'm not sure. I loved it though. I love that it had that little laundry area right off, like not in the basement. That was so great. This was the master bedroom, and this is the bath upstairs. Pretty basic. This was the 2nd bedroom, and this was the 3rd. I went back into the master just to give it another look right here, but it was very long, but it would have been totally fine for us. And this was the creepy basement. Outside, the yard was huge and we loved it so much. It even had this little pool, which we thought was cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of footage of this house at all, but it was a split level home. The biggest negative was that aside from the dining room and kitchen, it was all carpet everywhere and it wasn't hardwood underneath, so we would have had to deal with that. This was the main bathroom. There was also a half bath in the master bedroom, and this was the bottom half of the home, which was a really good size but no bathroom. This house was very, very nice. We really liked it. I love the ceiling right there. As soon as you walk in, the door I'm about to show you in a second, it was so beautiful. I love when doors have the two windows on the side. I think that's so pretty. But you walk in, it's the living room, the dining room is right there behind it, and it goes right into the kitchen. And the kitchen was a really great size. This house had central air too, which was awesome. We've never had central air, so I would love that. Very high ceilings with a skylight, so that was great. It's a ranch home, so all the bedrooms are right on the same level. You had your main bathroom right there, and it actually had a closet inside of it, which I loved. Then I guess I didn't get any clips of the bedrooms, but they were pretty basic, just bedrooms. This is the backyard. It was really big and we love the overhang. We don't really need a basketball court, but a basketball hoop with a paved area, but that's fine. This was the garage inside. You could get to it from inside of the house through the dining room. It has a little hallway right where you see that blue, and then it brings you either outside or right into the basement right here. As you can see, the basement is really awesome. It's really big. It has a full bathroom down there. It had the laundry room and it had this amazing bar. The bar was so cool. It was so big. And as you can see behind it, those are coolers right there. It's just like so legit, just like restaurants. This house was directly next door to the last one. It's literally the same exact house, just a little different. So you walk in the same way and the door is the same and everything. The only thing different is they redid their kitchen, and of course I love this kitchen even more than the other one because I dream of a kitchen island, but it was just very beautiful. The house is set up exactly the same. You would go down the hallway and there's the 3 bedrooms and the bathroom had the closet in it as well, so that was really nice. I definitely like that bathroom better than the other one. The only difference with these bedrooms is you could see that the walls are painted over, which I'm not a fan of, but it definitely wouldn't have been a deal breaker. This is the garage attached to the house, and another difference with this house is that it had a garage outside in the back detached as well. And the basement is not finished, so it was completely open and we could have made it whatever we wanted. So that was a plus to us. Backyard was exactly the same, just minus the basketball hoop. It still had the same overhang, and like I said, it has a detached garage, which you'll see in a second, so you had that back there as well. This next house we have was a Cape style home. I really like the brick on the outside. I would have probably painted that white, but I'm not a huge fan of capes. So we looked at the upstairs first, and what they did, which it didn't say in the listing, was that they renovated upstairs and someone had lived there. So there was a full kitchen, which as you can see, it was really beautiful, but we definitely don't need a full kitchen upstairs. We'd rather have the space. And this was the full bath up there, so it was 2 full bathrooms, which was nice. But the fact that it's basically like an apartment, there was a bedroom, and as you saw, the kitchen had like a little dining room area as well. It just, wasn't really exactly what we're looking for at this time. I love that it had a fireplace. That was really nice. And then right there is the kitchen, and off of it, I love those French doors. I guess this would be used as a dining room. The kitchen definitely needed some work, but it was fine. We probably would have just like DIY'd it until we're ready to renovate. This was the bathroom downstairs. And then this was the bedroom that was downstairs. Off of the kitchen, you could go right into the garage. And in the garage was stairs to go into the basement, and also stairs that brought you up to this little loft area that you see right there. It was a little creepy. The basement was finished at one point, that's why those beams are there. But they had some sort of flood and they took all of the drywall down. And the yard was a pretty good size. So this last house that we saw, as you can see, it was so dark. It was so weird because the owner was there and he just like kind of sat there, like no lights were on. The pictures online were just like terrible, so we figured we'd just come see it. But as you can see, it's 2 bedrooms upstairs. It's a Cape style home as well. They're right on either side. And then the bathroom, which was kind of cool, was the ceilings were so high. The ceilings were high in certain parts of the house, obviously not upstairs, but downstairs they were. The kitchen was really tiny. And then the dining room was nice too because of that big window, and the ceilings were high as well. And outside actually was great. Oh, I love that pink door, by the way. But the outside was nice. It had a big deck and there was a lot of grass, so it was a nice backyard. And this house actually was the last house on a dead end, which is nice. Let me speed you up to what has been going on today. On Tuesday, the 24th, which was 1 week, actually exactly 1 week from when we got the inspection at the other house, check back to episode 1, click up there if you want to see it, from that house that we bailed on. So exactly 1 week later, we had an inspection because we got an accepted offer on house number 2. This house was our favorite house. Like, we loved it. Which is so weird because, and I keep saying it to anyone I tell, but I just find it weird because the kitchen is not at all what I wanted. It is a galley kitchen, and like I've said, I really want a big open kitchen that I could renovate to put an island in. But with this kitchen, at least I could have like finagled, because it did have that kitchen nook, and put like an L-shaped counter. We were so excited about this house. Like, we loved everything about it. I loved the yard. I loved all the rooms that were in it. I loved how it had a laundry room and an extra room. It did not have a garage, and the basement was tiny, like even very short ceilings, so it would be hard to make that like any type of hangout space slash office, whatever. But it could have been done, but it wouldn't have been ideal. But we still loved it. Like, we loved it. I don't know what it was, we just loved it. It felt like the one. Cut to Tuesday the 24th, exactly 1 week after our last inspection. We have an inspection at this house. Because on Monday, we were told we have an accepted offer. We scheduled the inspection for Tuesday, and they go. So, as I told you last time, Bobby took off for our last inspection, which was on a Tuesday, and he can't keep taking off for us to drive back. And I'm a baby and I don't want to drive back by myself, so I didn't go. So what we did was our realtor met Bobby's dad and he went for the inspection, which is really better off because he knows what he's looking for too, and we would just be planning our life there. To be honest, I would have been measuring and like figuring things out, and that's it. Hoping for good news, and this inspection's going on. I said, make sure you check the cabinets for roaches. No roaches, no critters, but some major issues, unfortunately. So the deal breaker was that the house has structural issues. So that's like a biggie, like a huge one. It could cost like $100,000 to fix. The beams in the basement, one of them was like cracked and like had like a joist holding it up, we were told. And that's obviously not good. And there was holes and cracks all in the foundation. And the ceilings and floor was basically like caved in. Like when we were in the house, we didn't notice that. It's obviously not a like super noticeable thing. Like the couch isn't sliding down the thing, you know what I mean? I guess if you really are looking for it, you can see, because Bobby's dad said that he could really see it. We didn't notice that at all. Obviously our inspector said like the house could have settled, like it may not go any further than that, and that may be it, but it's not something you can go in and just fix. It's something that would have to be taken out and replaced, and obviously just think about that. That's a whole big thing for flooring and, you know, all stuff like that. Like it could be a really big job, and unfortunately that's not something that we can do. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things that could be a problem in an inspection, like worst things, you know. Every house is going to have a problem, of course, and it all depends on what you're able to afford to get fixed, and when it would need to get fixed, and what it is that needs to get fixed, and how big is the issue, right? So that's really it. I had to let it go. And it was sad. It was really sad. This one was a real heartbreaker. The other stuff, it was sad, you know, and a little heartbreaking, but this one was really, truly heartbreaking because we really loved this house. Like, it was move-in ready, basically, aside from changes that we want to make, you know, and I just saw, like, us being there, you know. It was just really, really sad, right? Same thing. Pinteresting and planning and all these things, you know what I mean? So it was really sad, and I was really sad. But there was a little bit of hope because, as I said, we put an offer on 2 other houses as well that we kind of heard back from. So Monday, when we found out about our number 1 house that got accepted, we also heard back from our number 2 house and said that we were the highest bid. So we thought, okay, that means we're probably going to get it, right? Like, we're the highest bid. Okay, well, long story short, we did not get it. Basically, the house, like you saw, has a bar in the basement with a sink attached to it. It's like a wet bar, right? And a bathroom. And they didn't have permits for either of those things. So if you don't have a permit, you can have an issue with the mortgage company. So our mortgage company wasn't willing to, like, turn their eye to it or wasn't willing to let that slide. The seller would then have to deal with getting permits or however that works, but they did not want to deal with that, so they went with someone else. So didn't get that house. So I was pretty sad about that. So that house, I don't think I said, is house number 4. And then the last house that we put an offer on was house number 5. It was, like I said before, directly next door to it. The same exact house, just a little things different here and there. Obviously, I loved the kitchen on this house. I didn't love that the bedrooms had paneling that was painted over, but that's not a deal breaker, obviously. It's just me. I'm just saying. And the basement was totally unfinished, which would have been great, right? So this is the only house that we had left to answer us. They didn't answer yet. And honestly, I was still feeling pretty upset. Now, this was last night, right? So yesterday was when the inspection was, by the way. And then, you know, already heartbroken about our number 1 house not working out and having to pass on it. Then we find out that our second option decided not to go with us. So our backup wasn't even a backup anymore. And now we're waiting on this third house to give an answer or not. And they had said, we're going to make a decision tonight. So I'm like, okay. At this point, I was just so sad that I'm like, we're not going to get it. I know we're not going to get it. Whatever. I'm just sad. So sad. But a little tiny part of me in the back of my mind was like, maybe we will. Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe blah, blah, freaking blah, right? We're waiting. And then we have a little bit of high hopes because the agent from the seller was reaching out to our mortgage company. So obviously if they're reaching out to our mortgage company, we're either who they picked or a backup, right? So they hadn't told us yet. So we're waiting. We didn't hear anything back last night. And then this morning we find out that we didn't get it. They went with someone else. They didn't tell us why. They didn't say if we were the highest ever. They never said that. They didn't say if we were a backup. They didn't say if there was a cash bid, because that's a big thing on Long Island right now is cash bids. How people have all this cash, I don't know. I wish I did, but so that didn't happen. And that's where we're at now. That's all I can leave you with is we put out 3 offers, had to bail on our favorite house, and the other 2 didn't get accepted. So back to square one. And today is Wednesday, and I guess we're gonna have to make a decision. I've looked on Redfin a little bit to see if, you know, there's anything out there for the weekend. It's not looking good. There's not a lot of stuff. I have a little hope because, you know, like I said in my last video, one weekend there was like nothing around and we went to Long Island and only saw 2 houses. But then the following weekend there was tons and we had 7 different houses to see. So maybe next weekend will be better. Honestly, mentally, I could use a break of not driving to Long Island. Very stressed out with everything in life, a lot of things going on top of this house hunting. So if we don't go this weekend, I'm not going to be upset about it, but I am going to be a little bit worried because, as you may or may not know, we are on a time frame, you know, we have a time frame. So I start feeling like it's a wasted weekend, you know, but it is what it is. And it's not like we can just go during the week. It has to be a weekend thing. So I mean, we could, but we can't. That's the plan. So now I need to go back on Redfin, which, by the way, if you are house hunting, I highly recommend Redfin. I love using it. Me and Bobby are both logged into the same thing. Like you can share your Redfin with someone else, so we both see the same thing. You can save a house, like favorite a house, and then write comments back and forth to each other about it. So it's actually really helpful. I think Zillow does this too, but you can add commutes to see how far it is, because that's another thing for us. We want to see how far it is to each of our family's house, because that matters on where the house is. So it's just really great. I definitely recommend Redfin. I don't even look at Zillow. The only time I look at Zillow is if there's a house we're really interested in and I want to see how many, like how popular it is and see if a lot of people are looking at it. I'll look at it on Zillow and see how many favorites it has, but that's it really. I guess I'm just gonna go continue looking on Redfin, and maybe we'll go this weekend, maybe we won't. If we don't, I'll probably spend the weekend packing a little. Just packing stuff that I know we won't use and just organizing. We bought a bunch of boxes at Lowe's last weekend, or whenever that what even was. I don't even know anymore. Wish me luck, you guys. Definitely stick around to follow this journey of us finding our future home on Long Island. Definitely watch episode 1 if you want to get caught up on why we're moving to Long Island and everything that goes with it. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks!